the parents of that school are doing nothing, saying anything. They're not boycotting. They're not holding the school accountable. They are not doing anything towards the school. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Pauline Study, and I'm happy to see you. If you're coming here for the first time, if you're always returning and always here, I'm also happy to see you. So guys, I don't know what to start from in this video, but nevertheless, I'll say what I want to say. So here is the thing. Yeah, if you've been following on Instagram, on Twitter, and in the news generally, you know what has happened to Slyvester and what happened at Dowen College. If you haven't, let me just give you a perspective of what happened. So there is a group of these boys that owned a cult in school and wanted to make this boy join, and he refused. What he did, he went ahead and reported, like, okay, like, they've been trying to force me to do this whole kind of stuff, and you know, that kind of thing, like kids going to report something bad that has been happening. Yeah. So when that kid refuses and reports, these guys just plot one day. He's conversing with one of his cousins, something like that, in the dormitory while he sleeps, and then this senior boy, I've forgotten the name, but that is something that when I recall, I'll put it here you see it on the screen. So these boys come in, they throw out his cousin, they tell him to get out, they put off the lights, and then they beat up Slyvester. Guys, they beat him up, like thorough beating, using a belt. They beat him to an extent that he couldn't move, he couldn't talk, he couldn't do anything. Yeah. So they tell him, if anything, they tell the cousin and him that if they ask anything, tell them that he was playing football. They hadn't played football that day. They didn't even have any practice. So what happens is, yeah, they tell the authority that, look, Slyvester wasn't playing football. Slyvester has been beaten. They take him to sick bay and all that kind of stuff. They tell him this guy is really badly off. He hasn't been he hasn't played football. There wasn't any football. He's been like, they try to report to the housemaster, to the what. These seniors are really beaten up this kid. So those people brush it off. So later on, to cut the story short, later on they come for the kid, and perhaps the kid was already dead by that time because he was so badly off, like beyond. Okay, so what I've come to talk about this today is that, guys, first of all, I am here to attack the parents. I don't even know if that word is right or what, but why are the parents of Dowen College in this whole thing, especially the parents of these juvenile offenders? Because they are juvenile offenders because firstly, they are teenagers, yeah, and that's why they're called juvenile offenders. Secondly, is that what are the parents of these kids? If not the parents of the kids themselves, what are the parents of Dowen College, the parents who take their kids to that school? Let me just do another perspective about this. That what happened is that when these people reported, the Dowen, like the people at Dowen, the authorities, they were like, they were like brushing it off. Yeah, when this whole thing came out on social media, the Dowen College like brought up some statements that they did not know about it. That, look, the parents took long to come pick the kid. These are people who are being told that Slyvester was not fine, Slyvester was beaten, and they were brushing it off and saying that that kind of thing did not happen. Yeah. So guys, I'm hoping that you still see me. Anyway, regardless, we'll move. So that is what they said. And the other thing is that I've seen Dowen College before, not only once. I've passed by it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this school is a must go to. You know, those schools which you look at and they definitely look like they have a very nice serene environment. Schools that, like, you just pass by and you're like, this is a must go to place. My goodness, that is hell on earth. Firstly, they released a very wrong statement to the public. Secondly, is that they do not do anything about Slyvester's situation. Now, going back to the parents, the whole idea is that the parents of Dowen College are not saying anything. They're not boycotting. They're not holding the school accountable. They are not doing anything towards the school. These are parents who have like children in that school. They're not sure if the children have actually been bullied before, or if they are the bullies themselves, just like the parents of these juvenile offenders that I'm worried. Like, I can't even call them like they are just students. No, these guys are juvenile offenders, because under the law, what they did would amount to manslaughter. Yes, and that is if their lawyer is able to prove it, or, which I highly doubt, it would be murder, and that is either life sentence or death penalty. Yes. Okay, so the whole idea is that what are the parents not saying anything? It's only Slyvester's parents that are in pain. You guys, you give birth to a child, take care of that child, you want the child to be in the best school, best hands, best life, best everything, and then some funny hooligan comes and beats up your kid, and the parent of that hooligan does not come up to say anything like, oh, we're sorry, doesn't even release anything. All they're trying to do right now, I'm very sure, is trying to hide their kid from anywhere. My goodness God, please, those people must be found, because it's really, 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 really so bad. Like, they've not done anything. And yeah, one thing that I'm happy about is that Dowen College has indefinitely been shut down. That's a good thing. And I think that should have like given an alarm to the parents to start like criticizing the school, even if you've paid school and school fees. That how do you feel if that kid was yours? Like, just put yourself in the legs, in the shoes of Slyvester's parents. Like, it's so bad. Like, this is just me ranting about this whole thing. And the other thing is that these Dowen College teachers, the proprietresses, and the principals and all that kind of stuff, firstly, is that these guys are, this is just me putting the law in place, yeah, like trying to apply that law too. These guys are actually accomplices before and after the fact. Firstly, they knew that there is bullying in their school. They did not do anything about it. Secondly, is that they tried to cover up that their own students, these people that I'm calling hooligans and juvenile offenders, have actually, when they did that, they did not say anything about it. They pretended like nothing happened. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that they will also be held accountable as much at the very same level of the perpetrators of this crime. Look, and the sad bit is that Slyvester named the people that beat him up. That is a dying declaration that can be used as evidence in courts. And guess what? The parents of these kids are not even saying anything. That I don't even think they are feeling remorse for their own children's actions, because right now they're just thinking of hiding. We've already seen their faces, so we're going to find them. Okay? They're going to be found, they'll be taken to prison and all kind of stuff. But also, nevertheless, what happened at Dowen College may also be happening in other schools, yeah? And the idea is that it's just like someone saying that it's just like someone who drowned in water or in a pool, in whichever source of water, pool, water, lake, river. And then when the person drowns, you say, you'll never take boat, you'll never swim, you'll never go on a ship, you'll never go on a boat cruise or anything. No. Of course, life moves on. But in this case of Slyvester's case, is that, yes, boarding schools will still exist, but the good news is that now boarding schools are going to be more accountable when Dowen College authorities get to face the consequences for this. Secondly, is that I don't think it will be very prudent for you to say that you'll never take your kids to a boarding school, because at the end of the day, circumstances may dictate that you have to take your kid to a boarding school. The whole idea is that you have to be very, very precautious about the school you go to, and if your kid is complaining, and if you try to have a relationship with your kid and try to investigate, is the kid, even if they try to show you that they're actually living the best life, you have to keep on investigating, is this kid actually living the best life? Like, try to follow up their kind of life that they're living. Yeah. So the whole idea is that people are out here saying, I'm not going to take my kid to a boarding school, whatnot. The thing is, sometimes you may have no option than take the kid to a boarding school. And not all boarding schools are the same. Yes, I've seen those that have bullying, and I don't know why. Most of the times, these schools are single schools, and most of the times they're boys' schools that have this level of bullying, and most of them are colleges. I don't know why. But that being said, why I came on this channel today to talk about Slyvester's case is that I am calling out the parents of that school, okay? Yes, I've seen the school. It looks very beautiful from the outside. They look like smart kids. But those kids, first of all, you can already see the kids who killed. they have parents, yeah. And that brings me to the whole idea of schools are not always meant to teach your child how to behave. Schools are for education, my dear. They're not there to teach your child charity or anything. No, charity begins at home. If your child has been seeing you beat up all other kids, or you've been beating the kids so badly, or whatever they've been seeing, they're still going to practice that when they're out of your vicinity. So ideally, teach your children. Like, no one is going to groom your children. Like those children who killed Slyvester, my goodness, they're going to be in prison for the rest of their lives. Yeah, they'll first go to a juvenile offenders prison, and then they'll go to a general prison while they get to first life the hard way, harder than it was in the juvenile offenders prison. But that being said and done, like I was saying, the parents of that school are doing nothing, yeah, which shows a very, very, very bad impression. Because imagine that kid was yours. What would you do? Honestly, have you thought, like, what's even more hurting is that about a few days ago, it was Dowen's it was Sylvester's birthday, and it's just so sad. So the sad bit is that some of the people who have authority in Dowen have relatives who are celebrities, people who have a high status in society, and these people are not saying a word. My dear, we are watching you people, hey? We are watching you guys, okay? Because what happened is just not good. Like, it's not good. Yeah, the parents of the kids who did this are not saying anything, okay? The parents of the people or the parents of the other students in the school are not saying anything. It's only us well-wishers, it's only us people on social media, it's only us people who are seeing from a very far distance that are coming out to talk about this kind of stuff. What are the parents like? Like, what are the parents in all this? What are they? But anyway, like I said, parents need to teach their children from home, yeah? One thing I must say is that parents of those kids who beat up that boy, Sylvester, did not have manners. Their parents did not do a great job. They're just failures who failed to raise their kids. I'm very sorry for saying this, but this is me being remorse and being straight direct forward and saying whatever is on my mind, okay? So anyway, if you have anything to say about this, please leave it in the comment section. Let's make this video viral so that those parents can see that they are actually doing the wrong thing. Like, why? Like, it's so annoying, guys. It's so damn annoying. But anyway, that being said and done, you should go watch Nazo Eze's video. She also talked about this, so yeah. And I'm very sure if you watch it and watch this, you will know everything that has been happening, okay? So, but anyway, we just hope that Sylvester's soul rests in peace, and we just hope that everything actually comes to justice. But I believe those guys are going to face justice whether they like it or not. This era of social media will not just let things run away like that. No, not at all, not at all. I promise those people Anyway, that being said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below of what you think about this whole scenario, about whatever happened to Slyvester at Dowen College, and what you think people should have done, especially the parents. Yeah guys, that being said and done, I think I'll see you in my next vlog. Bye bye.